If you're an African student, it is time for you to give attention to your continent, Africa. Whether you study here in Africa or you're an African student in diaspora, this call is to every one of us, irrespective of where you study. The main purpose of education is to enable you as a student to grow, thoroughly develop, so that you can in turn make contributions to the growth and development of your society. So if you go to school, sit down and study your books. Read those books and lecture notes that you take, and seek to understand them. Because it is only when you understand that you can make any meaningful contribution to the growth and development of this continent. Listen, you are the hope we have. You, an African student, you are the hope. From Nigeria to Ghana to South Africa to Namibia to Malawi to Kigali, Rwanda, to any of the African country you represent, you have to take this discourse serious and apply these few things I'm saying on this discourse. As a student in school, I'm encouraging you to sit down and think on the things you are learning. You have to think on them. It is only when you sit down to think on those things you learn that you're able to figure out how those things can improve your life. And of course, how you can also use them to improve your community and the society at large. Do you know that the entire continent is loaded with all kinds of material resources, yet a larger number of students that graduate from the continent every year don't have jobs to do? We must not continue to make the same mistakes and expect a different result. So it is time for us to wake up from our mental slumber and embrace what works and what doesn't, and separate what does not. We need a mental revolution on the African continent. It's not any other kind of revolution that we need. We need a revolution that will stir up a mindset that is inquisitive, curious, to make valid discoveries that will bring about the needed change that we aim for. This is very important. And the community that will enable us to play this role effectively is the student community. You are at advantage because you are sitting with books. You have 3, 4, 5 years of study, consistent study, where you can make valid discoveries of things you can do to bring about the needed change that we seek. So instead of getting yourself tangled with antisocial behavior that will not bring out the best in you. It is time for you to sit down. I'm encouraging you and challenging you at the same time to sit down with your books and come out with ideas that will bring about the revolution that the African continent needs. But that revolution, study, think, rigorous thinking over the things you are learning. Ask yourself questions, pertinent questions. How can these things I'm learning benefit me? How can these things I'm learning benefit my community? How can these things I'm learning benefit my country? How can these things I'm learning benefit my continent, Africa? Ask yourself these questions and look for answers to them. You have to search and research until you find answers to your questions. Because you are the hope of the African continent. The future is now. When you look at the issue of the youth and the leaders of tomorrow, let me open your eyes now. Listen to me. You can hope forever and not becoming any leader in anywhere. Leadership begins with you. Ability to lead yourself to do what is required when it is required, whether it is convenient for you or not. And the testing ground is the institution where you belong. Ability to lead yourself to study as it demands of you. And not just studying, sitting down to analyze what you learn and using it to benefit your life and the life of those around you, your community. Because even your community is expecting a lot from you. Is key and important. So take advantage of your privilege and opportunity you have now as a student and employ every strategy you need to bring out the best in you. A lot of us who are students are not interested in education. We are only interested in passing exams and just acquiring certificate. Listen, certificate does not change any person's status. There is no good that certificate can do to you. You are the certificate. It's not the paper. Ultimately, that paper that is given to you that you are calling a certificate will just be kept somewhere. At the end of the day, you will be asked real questions. Now, translate what you have learned into real life issues. Let's see how what you have learned can be applied and where can it be applied. There you will know that the certificate is not the key thing. It's just for us to show that yes, actually it's an evidence that I've gone to school. But far beyond that, in the Western world like the United States of America and some other European countries, there are many people who never had any certificate that have done extremely well in the globe, who have made larger impact globally. I don't want to mention them, but so many of them, you can do your research. In fact, some of the school dropouts have set standard for professors that even professors of institutions in those fields find it difficult to resolve because of the depth of innovations, ideas that were translated and converted to products and services. So it shouldn't be issue of the certificate. Yes, don't, it's okay, but that shouldn't be the drive. The major drive should be for you to acquire education. Pay attention to relevant knowledge and skill. Inject into your mind the insight you need. Pump your mind with relevant information. Feed your mind daily. Impart your mind daily with resourceful materials that have the capacity to equip and empower your mind for stability. That is how it works. This is the only way you, as a student of the African continent, can make a valid contribution to Africa. Now listen, the best time to acquire skill is now as a student, because you have relative holidays, you have time to study. Sometimes lectures are just for like 8 hours out of 24 hours. You take 24 hours, 8 hours for 24 hours. You have solid 16 hours. Solid 16 hours that you can engage at least out of the 16 hours, 4 of those hours for a skill of interest every day. And I tell you, 3, 4, 5 years time, when you be leaving the school, you can never remedy sin. You will be ready. Because when you are learning and acquiring skill, you are getting ready to take advantage of opportunities that exist. There are lots of opportunities on the African continent. You only have people who are not qualified to take advantage of them. So, take advantage of the opportunity you have. Don't go to school and be loitering around. Go to school and be making jest and getting yourself attached unnecessarily to, emotionally to young ladies. No, don't do that. A young lady, listen, don't give yourself as a specimen to men, young boys. No, you are not. You are a woman of value. We want many of you to command the like of Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, well-respected global personality in Nigeria. Yes. So don't give yourself to such things. Don't give yourself. Pay attention. In the intellectual world, listen, ladies who are students, men and women are equal. So girls are even more equal than men in the intellectual world. So let no man look down on you or relegate you to what you are not. Demonstrate competence. Demonstrate, I can do it. That you can and you will. Make things happen. Contribute effectively. Take part in discussions that will bring about the growth and development of the Africa. Listen, 2 things are key in the life of every individual. You have to make your life better, and you have to make the life of others better. That is it. It is about us and others, not we alone. So you're going to school, it's not just for yourself alone, nor for your family, no, it's for the larger society. We are expecting you to make contributions. So start thinking about the economy. Study about the economy while you're in school. Studying about politics while you're in school. Study about social stratifications while you're in school. All of those studies. Look at how you can conquer your environment. Think possibility. Look, this environment can be conquered. J.F. Kennedy, some years back, that's about 1960 if I'm not mistaken, challenged the Americans to send a man to the moon. And by that challenge, I think about 10 years later, America landed on the moon. It takes a high level possibility thinking for you to look at the sky and say, look, I'm traveling to go and see what is happening on the other side. Yes, that is the mindset as a student you must cultivate. Use the library, use the lectures, use your colleague and every material that is available. The internet is there. Take advantage of every resource and use it for your advantage. There is no limitation. We have the best of opportunity in this 21st century. So as a student in the 21st century, you have a larger advantage for yourself. Take full advantage of the opportunities that exist in the 21st century. This is very key. Acquire skills. Get prepared and ready. You are the hope of Africa. I'm speaking to every nation of the African continent. 54 nations. We can revolutionize the continent. Mental revolution is the key. Let's pay attention to our minds and become inquisitive to doing those things that are important as we make findings and develop the continent for good. Now is the time to be proud of Africa. Africans in diaspora, don't just go there and study. Learn the system of the nation you are studying. If the country is a developed nation, find out what they are doing right and what they are not doing right. Pick what is right and come back home with it and employ it to the development of our continent. It is time for Africa to rise. It is time because Africa is rising. Don't be left out. Be part of this global mental revolution. It is time to bring about the needed change that we seek. Don't just be a student with a difference that will make the demands on your mind. You place a demand on your mind that the things I am learning must impact my society constructively. As a lecturer, have a passion for that revolution. Be mind listening. Don't be left out. Be part of this global mental revolution. It is time to bring about the needed change that we seek. Don't just be a student with a difference that will make the demands on your mind. You place a demand on your mind that the things I am learning must impact my society constructively. As a lecturer, have a passion for knowledge, imparting knowledge. And that is why I'm going through it. Not that there's money, I'm going to go there because of money. I'm there because I want to affect Africa positively. Listen, and listen good, my fellow students. Take advantage of the opportunity you have. Some of you, your parents have worked so hard to pay your fees. And some of you are paying your fees by yourselves. That's how some of us paid ourselves through schools. So don't go to school and be loitering around, because when I'm more campus, I see a lot of students loitering everywhere. Purposelessly, they don't know why they are in school. And during a week to exam, they'll be running helter-skelter. Is that how you prepare for exams? Is that how you study? For a whole semester, you don't sit down to read. You just run down within 1 week and look at your notes. Join me for this revolution. It's a mental revolution. We need a change of mindset, change of attitude to the way we do things. It is time for us to begin to pay attention to super excellence in everything we do. Quality control of the people that churn out from our institution. If the school where you are cannot give you education, give it to yourself. Buy books, subscribe to online materials, and equip yourself. Get you ready for the opportunity that will await you when you're out of school. Don't rely on the government. Don't even rely on the school where you are. Use the library if it has. Use any materials available and thoroughly equip yourself so that tomorrow when you are privileged to pick you for a position of leadership, you will provide a global standard leadership in our countries. I'm talking about the countries in the African continent. That when you are privileged to lead another the nation, you have the same intellectual capacity with President of China, President of United States, Prime Minister of UK, the same intellectual capacity, if not even greater. Not that you feel inferior before your colleagues. No, it shouldn't be so. When you have the intellectual capacity, you don't feel inferior over anyone. What they know, you know. What they can do, you can do. But they will not respect us. Listen to me, African student. The only way we can command respect It is when we make our nation a great nation. If the 54 countries in Africa are not taking full advantage, especially Nigeria, listen, Nigeria, the giant must in you must rise. You have to rise. You must rise. It is time to pay attention to real projects of students or campus and see how we can convert those projects to products and outputs that our people can look up to. This is my advice to you, African students. If you are a student, be a student with a difference and make changes, because Africa is hoping on you. We depend on you. And I know together as we walk, you will not fail us. Thank you very much and have a great day.